Welcome to Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. We're kicking off the hurricane season a little early this year. We got golf, we got Bundesliga going back up in the sports here, guys. We got a couple of sports picks coming your way. And we got JCPenney going bankrupt. We'll talk about that in Stock Talk. But hey, while you're here, hit that subscribe button, get ready to leave a couple of comments because we're going to ask you guys some questions. And Kurt, man, how you been doing?
I've been doing fantastic, man. How have you been?
I've been great. A little bit of rain over here. How's it going over
tons
by
of
you?
rain, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're not that far away.
Yeah. Were you doing anything? Doing anything in particular since you can't do too much outside? I guess.
No, man. Just. I mean, today was amazing. I love the thunderstorms. I just love to sit there and just listen to it, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got the camera set up now, so we're actually going live to people with our face and everything like that. I think this is going to be our debut with the cameras. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm hoping that when we get it all in, it's going to be it's just going to be really a lot easier to watch, a lot easier to listen to, and yeah, so definitely hit that like button and stay tuned for those comment questions because you want to join the community, be part of this. We're moving forward, man.
For sure, yeah. And shout out to our Twitter page, too. Definitely go check us out at
SCP Podcast.
At SCP Podcast. Got it down.
That's right.
So definitely come and check us out. I'll see how much, forgive the background. I don't know if I'm offending anyone with the fan in the background. But you're going to have to ignore any of my little face tweaks or anything like that. We'll see how well I can do about that.
I might have some birds chirping on my end, but that's okay.
Yeah, but this will be exciting.
Speaking of this, But speaking of this rain and stuff, we had this tropical whatever move through with those feeder bands. Was it Saturday? It was causing a lot of wind and
in
rain.
South Florida we had that. We had the starts of what is now a tropical storm up in near South Carolina. So I guess the headline is Tropical Storm Arthur. Is it? Up in Battery,
Arthur.
North Carolina. So North Carolina coast is getting some. But like you said, we had a little bit of that rain this weekend, and that was kind of keeping us indoors a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't end up being too bad down here, but, because it was still forming down here. But there was one line of storms that came through just all of a sudden, kind of unexpected. It was a band right from that then tropical storm. Now it's causing some flooding up in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. I don't
just
know
like
necessarily.
that, hurricane season has started.
Yeah, I don't know if it. Yeah, which is weird because hurricane season doesn't usually start until June 1st. I'm pretty sure is the first day of hurricane season. So not that this is a particularly early event. I'm sure that you tend to get stuff around, end of May, early June as your first couple of days for depressions and tropical storms to start to form.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty decent. It's a pretty decent sized tropical storm. I mean, you never want to rule out it ever going to become hurricane or anything like that, so we might even potentially be seeing the first hurricane. I don't think the forecast calls for it, but
yeah, I don't think so, but it is like looping back down. And I remember like Hurricane Ivan back in 2004. I was a kid, but it went through Florida, went out of North Carolina, then looped back around and hit Florida a second time, coming south and then west again. So I was looking at the track and I was like, could this storm possibly do a little loop-de-loop? Who knows?
Is this the loop-de-loop from 2004 all over again? The year 2020 can it only get any worse? I don't know.
But when a storm is this early, some of the normal patterns aren't in place that you're used to, so it can do a little bit funky things. But we're on the heels. I mean, it's mid-May, it's almost hurricane season, and I remember last year we had like a subtropical storm in April or something like that. It was super stupid early.
I don't remember that far back. I can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
I'm telling you, man. But it was. But here we are. We have Arthur. I was about to say Albert. I don't know why I keep thinking Albert.
Yeah, Arthur. It's like the TV series.
So here's the question, though, because I was looking at this before the season started up. I was looking at the forecasts. The predictions for how 2020 is going to look with the hurricane season. Because I'm a fanatic about that stuff. I love hurricanes. I just love them. I'm a Florida kid. But the prediction is 16 named storms this season. That's kind of a lot.
That's kind of a lot.
That's what did you say? It was Q or
P, I think, is where that goes down to.
Oh, so it would be down to the P names. So like
which is pretty intense.
Patrick or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot. It's above average, but it's it's not terribly
especially
long, but
yeah, especially if you start to see pretty strong storms as far as like, named storm. Like, I'm pretty sure Arthur is like 45 miles per hour or something like that right now, which is pretty strong for a tropical storm. I mean, the threshold is 35, so it could be as low as, that's 10 miles per hour beyond the threshold. That's pretty decent.
They say 8. They predict 8 of them to be hurricanes.
Okay, yeah.
And 8 of the 16, and then they predict 4 of the 8 hurricanes to be major hurricanes, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, that's a fair number. I mean, we had a pretty big one last year too that battered the Bahamas pretty hard, almost hit Florida, and wreaked a lot of havoc. That's your standard major hurricane right there. So 4 of those in 1 year. That's a fair bit.
And they say there's a 69% chance that at least one of those major hurricanes will make landfall in the U.S. shoreline.
69%.
69%. This is all out of Colorado State
Nice.
University. They're really good at they traditionally do a lot of these preseason forecasts, kind of like Farmer's Almanac or something, but they actually use data.
Yeah, they said that like this year too is La Nina or La Nina is ending. I think that. So the warm waters are coming back over, and it changes the way that the jet stream like interacts with the upper level winds and hurricanes, and so it's supposed to be a little bit more a conducive environment for hurricanes. So that'll play a factor into how many major hurricanes we're getting.
So here's a prediction, okay? First story prediction.
All right.
Is the 16 accurate? Do you think that we're going to have fewer named storms than 16 or more named storms than 16? Over or under?
I think I'm going to say under for number of named storms. And you can comment your answers down below. And I'm going purely off of just pure willpower here. I have no data to back this.
Gut
but
feeling,
I'm going to go with under on the 16. For the 8, let me do the hurricanes too. 8, I think that is... I think that we're going to have more than 8 hurricanes. And I think that we're going to have less major hurricanes. A major hurricane, I think, is category 3 or stronger. So I think we'll have maybe like 3 major hurricanes.
Yeah, I can only hope. I mean, I hope we're over. I'm gonna pick over on the 16 because, like you said, with that La Nina or whatever it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I figure that we're gonna have stronger, more powerful storms that absorb a lot of the energy out of them.
Yeah, the water's hot. And I think this storm is a good sign. I mean, we're already one named storm, and the season hasn't even started. So
that's a good point.
I really think we're on our way. I mean, this prediction, by the way, was back in April on April 2nd. So we've already got one out of the way. I think we're going to be over on the 16. I'm going to say over on the 8, and I'm going to say the 4 is spot on.
Nice. When you say spot on, it's usually you're taking the under, quote unquote. So I'm going to give you under on that one. So comment your thoughts on that. The total named hurricanes. Yeah, total named, number of hurricanes, number of major hurricanes. Alrighty, we can roll on through.
Next story is Hong Kong. I saw this a couple weeks ago, but it happened again. It was like a fight in the chamber or whatever. Yeah,
so people are getting whacked down there. Do you have the story up right now? I don't have mine.
Yeah, it says Anthem Bill sparks new clashes in Hong Kong legislature. Clashes broke out in Hong Kong's legislature for the second time this month on Monday as the city's pro-democracy camp tried to, I don't know this word, scupper? A controversial law that bans insulting China's national anthem. So they're basically trying to control speech in Hong Kong, which typically is more free.
Yeah, that's tough because they have that whole, there's like two governments, one
I'm watching the video
or something like that. Is it pretty?
They're carrying people out. They're beating each other. Well, they're not beating each other up, but they're like carrying this dude out, and they all got masks on. They're ripping each other's masks off.
Yeah.
It's like basically a pushing match. I mean, it's a bunch of middle-aged guys,
Yeah, well,
they're yelling at each other, man.
This is an opportunity for them to be like, listen, like if you don't say anything now, then you risk having to things get escalated outside of this room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so at least this is.
But here's the thing, though. There's like no order. This is in their legislature. I mean, I don't know what their rules are, their legislature, but there's no order. Like, people are screaming at each other. If this was like the U.S., you could voice your opinion through a vote. I mean, that's all you have. You can't just stand up and scream. I mean, that's no one. I mean, you get voted out, you'd be on the front page of the news. You know what I mean? So they have no shame, and I don't know if they're breaking all the rules or what, but it's pretty crazy in there.
Yeah, this like I guess you don't necessarily see that kind of thing over in the United States, but I don't know. Like, if you're a citizen of Hong Kong, are you thinking this is like a bad image for us on the world stage, or are you thinking, wow, our politicians are actually standing up for us?
I think yeah, I don't know, man. I think if you're a pro-democracy person, you're pleased with that. I don't think you're ashamed that that's happening on the global stage. I think you know that the world's kind of on your side, but
yeah,
I just don't know how effective it's going to be. Like, if their people are literally getting carried out of the chamber by guards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At a certain point, I don't really follow that closely.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
Yeah,
I just know the tension that's going on there.
Yeah, they're holding up placards that said the pro-democracy lawmakers are holding up placards that said abuse of power and CCP, which is the Communist Party, the Chinese Communist Party, tramples Hong Kong legislature. Oh, here it is. It's one country, two systems. The former British colony was returned to China in '97. That's what it is.
They're kind of autonomous, but they're part of the country. They got returned to China's sovereignty, but it's like Puerto Rico or you grew up in USVI or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that deal. It's part of the country, but it's not like it's almost got its own rules. It doesn't have like all the same. Like, you don't have to pay income taxes in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
But
it's just like a lot of way that countries operate now. Like,
that's crazy.
I think that like the Dutch or something like that own Iceland. I'm sure that there's like or not Iceland, Greenland, something weird like that, right? And I know the British have islands too. So
there's like a certain level of autonomy that they have, but then if China starts encroaching on that, and trying to force things on them, there's only so much they're going to be willing to, put up with to a certain extent. And those lines are kind of hard to see. It's hard. The line is really thin between, okay, we're part of your country, but we want our own rules. This was part of the agreement, I guess. But
yeah,
crazy stuff.
Yeah, just like a last little tidbit. Monday, which is today, so this drops on Tuesday. 15 pro-democracy figures, including media tycoon Jimmy Lai, appeared in court to face charges related to months of anti-government protests from last year. That was sparked by an extradition bill. So everyone still remembers that extradition bill, and this is just like them trying to say, hey, listen, this is kind of a similar thing here. Like, we don't want you guys being able to come into our country and run things the way that you want to run them. We're two systems here, even though we're all part of one country,
Yep.
Anyway,
crazy stuff there. Well, okay, I have our funny story of the day though from Bing Newsreel.
I think this one's pretty good too.
Yeah, this is pretty funny. You gotta look this up. Coronavirus football, FC. Okay, so as soccer leagues are getting back into playing, but they don't want to have fans in the stadium, right? Okay, so here's the headline: FC Seoul in Korea apologizes for sex dolls in the stands.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's pretty crazy, man. Like, so
premium mannequins is what they called them.
Yeah, so I assume that what they did was they're putting. Well, I don't have to assume. I know this is what they're doing. They're putting in these dolls to make it look like there's people in the stands.
Yeah, but because they're pretty easy to manipulate and stand them up and sit them down and stuff.
Yeah, you just put them up there, put them in the stands. What are they gonna do? They're not moved. They just chill there. I mean,
they are mannequins. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But they're a lot more expensive. They're a lot more expensive, I would imagine. Anyway,
I thought that there was like maybe outcry associated with like some sort of advertising for that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I saw them holding signs and stuff. Like the doll was literally holding signs, and I'm trying to read it. I'm not gonna read too much into this story, but
yeah, at a certain point, I mean, that's just plain old funny. They're trying to get the stands packed, and then a company that owns these sex dolls is probably like, hey, like free advertising, let's put our dolls up there, and then we'll tweet out to everybody, hey, you see those people that look like really real people in the stadium? Those are our dolls, you know what I mean? And then everyone's like, wait, what the heck?
Yeah, they had to apologize, sneaky. And yeah,
that's pretty sneaky on their part.
Brings up a question. Like, I know that they're all they were doing cardboard cutouts in Germany, I think, and it's like, I wonder if they're doing like crowd noise through the speakers as well, just to kind of try to replicate the noise level in the stadium of like their own, like take recordings of their fans' noise, you know, and cheers and stuff, and play it through the speakers for the players.
That's an interesting question, because I know that, like, I guess this is kind of like a weird transition, but Bundesliga started up last week, and I didn't watch any of the games. So I don't even know if they were necessarily doing that, but that's a decent idea, you know, like to be playing just
instead
just
of it just be
noise.
Dead quiet. Yeah. It's pretty weird. I watched I was just in a YouTube, you know, one of those, like, you go down the levels in YouTube and you're just watching stuff. I was watching
somehow watching a donkey riding a horse, something like that. Yeah,
I was watching South Korea versus North Korea, a match that they played like earlier this year. You know that they really hate each other, but their two soccer national teams played against each other, and they were playing it in North Korea for the first time in like decades, and there was no one in the stands. It was like a North Korean stadium with no one in the stands. Very eerie, you know. It's just weird. You're watching it. It's like the players, like, there's no one saying anything. There's a couple people in the stands, like, just officials and stuff, like, basically military people. It's weird. Quiet. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, it certainly is a different thing for the players, but yeah, the mannequins thing is so funny.
Yeah.
Or the sex dolls thing.
That's a win for whatever, because they got double advertised. You know what I mean? Now they made international news. So
FC Seoul. FC Seoul is going to be the next Yankees of Korean football, Korean soccer.
Oh man, that's good.
But that pretty much bridges us into the sports. Session, our sports news.
Yeah. So, do you have the opener for that one?
Yeah. Golf. Golf is going live back on TV, and no surprise, Rory McIlroy stole the show and won this. What is this? Like a charity event?
It's like a charity event. Yeah, I think right now a lot of what they're doing are charity matches to start golf back up. Like, they're not doing dense fields. You know what I mean? How they typically do, like.
Who had not won the skins since the sixth hole had a chance to win the final 6 skins worth $1.1 million on the final hole. I don't know, whatever. McIlroy and Dustin Johnson. Well, that's a really good team right there.
For sure. Yeah. But there's a lot of good golf players right now, too. But yeah, McIlroy's at the top of his game right now, so no surprise there, like you said. Which
leads us into another golf story that we saw.
Yeah.
Which is Brady. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's going to do a golf charity event against Peyton Manning.
Yeah. So this was a cool one. It's Capital One's The Match Champions for Charity is a doubles. It's like I don't necessarily know how they're gonna play the each individual hole, but it's doubles, and it's Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning versus Jack Nicholson and
not Jack Nicholson
or Nicholson.
Phil
Phil.
Nicholson.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm.
The lefty.
Yeah, and southpaw, and our guy Tom Brady. Thomas
Evermore
Thomas.
Brady. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a really cool thing too. I mean, so it's just another golf charity match that we have just these like really high value I don't know what you call them, like high like infamous players, you know, these players that are going to go down in history, you know. Peyton Manning, top of his game maybe not top of his game, but left a legend. Tom Brady, a legend. Both of these two players are legends.
But also Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, like, that's an age-old rivalry, and they're teaming up, you know. I mean, like Mickelson and Brady, and I don't know. That's just going to be interesting to watch. Like, if I can get that.
Yeah, I don't know the last time. Like, is Mickelson? Is Mickelson still playing in
I think so.
regular? Okay, yeah, I didn't know if he had officially or unofficially retired or anything like that, because we haven't had any golf for the last.
I don't know. I hadn't heard anything, but he's getting old, and Woods, he's kind of trash, but he's every once in a while does well now.
He's getting kind of old too. Shoot.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think Brady's going to be the X factor. Okay, let's do a quick pick on this one. So everyone, comment down below. Who do you think is going to win? Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning, or Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady? What do you think, Richard?
So I'm going to go with. I'm on the fence about this one. I think I'm going to go with Tiger and Peyton.
Really?
I'm going to go with Tiger and Peyton. Yeah.
See, I'm going Mickelson Brady, boys.
That's a safe
Brady
bet.
all the way.
Yeah, Brady
Brady's
all the way.
He's
a competitor.
Come on, boys.
Yeah, I'm going with Peyton Manning and Woods, because I think Woods.
Dude, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I know. I just think Woods has had a particularly successful, like, he had a couple of like big bouts where he was like looking at possibly winning a couple of majors. I think this is like end of last season or the beginning of this year.
That's true.
And he's still a name in there. I just don't see as much from Mickelson. So maybe I'm wrong on that front. Maybe he's doing a lot better than I'm expecting. But also, like, what else is Peyton Manning doing? Like, he's doing Papa John's commercials. And he's probably just golfing all the time, man.
Brady's actually still in the game. He's busy. Yeah, that's a good point. Point.
So
Manning is an athlete too. I mean, he may look really old, and he might have a dad bod more than Brady does. But
so I'm looking here on Bleacher Report. Despite defeat the first time, Tiger and his partner Manning are favorites to win. So that's according to Caesars as of Monday morning. I didn't actually know that. I just read that just now. So,
all right. Well, comment your pick down below.
Yeah, comment your pick down below. Knowing now that that Manning and Tiger are the favorites. Are you going to go with me, or are you going to go with the dark horse?
No, I'm sticking with Brady, man. Brady's going to be the X factor in this one.
Yeah, you could go with Kurt. You go with me. I think I'm the better pick on this one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving on.
Speaking of picks, let's move into Dick's Picks and Captain's Log. What do we got today, Richard?
Alrighty, yeah, we're going to do at least...
Or we can prime it with the Bundesliga thing, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, this golf championship is, well, I guess it's not a championship technically. It's a charity event, so it is what it is. But that can be part of our initial picks. But yeah, we're doing the Bundesliga this week. And I think that there's not a ton of good games going on right now in Bundesliga. They're coming at the end of the season because they've only just picked a couple more games up, I think. I don't know that they're going to be going that deep into the summer necessarily, and I don't think that they have a lot on there.
They're supposed to have 34 total weeks, and they just finished week 26.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how far, if they're going to just keep continuing through the summer, because they're going to butt up against their butt up with next season, and the players are going to be like, well,
right.
Yeah, I had that break in the fall that I wasn't expecting, but I still need the summer. Like that was anticipated.
So they
might cut it short
left.
A little bit.
Anyway, if they did fall season, they'd have 8 games left. And I mean, if you do a game if you do 2 games a week,
knock it out in a month.
In a month, but yeah, you might be right. They might cut it down, and I don't know how they would decide that, but
anyway, it's a.
So
I don't know necessarily.
So in the Bundesliga though, Bayern Munich is at the top of the table right now.
Yeah.
And
do the table, because I don't have the table up right now.
Yeah, and Borussia Dortmund is 4 points underneath them with 50 in second place with 54 points, but this one was surprising to me. The third place team is Borussia Mönchengladbach. I don't know how to say it because I'm not German.
I would say München because I'm American. Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, Mönchengladbach. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I mean, I obviously know their team, but they tend to be a mid-level, a mid-table team in the German league, maybe lower level. But yeah. They got some momentum, and they're in third place.
Yeah.
I think that's a Champions League spot. So
it's a competitive spot to be for sure.
So our pick for this week,
is going to be between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bayer
Leverkusen.
Thank you, Kurt, for the pronunciation.
Who is,
I was never going to get that, my man.
Actually in 5th place with 50 points. So
Dude,
if
look at the table
Leverkusen were
points.
to right, if Leverkusen were to beat Borussia Mönchengladbach, they'd be in 3rd place. Or depending on Red Bull Leipzig, but it's tight right there. So this is a pretty good game to pick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it has like ramifications beyond because I just don't know if they're gonna go with the full 8 extra games. Maybe they do, but if they don't, if they like trim the season down a little bit, I don't know what what they're expecting. But if they did trim down the season, this would be a really critical game in putting Leverkusen into a position where they could potentially steal a couple of points late, and then maybe try and sneak into a Champions League position for next year.
All right.
Or
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's there's Europa League implications there for them. I mean, losing here, it's not necessarily like the end of the world, but you kind of want to steal one away if you can.
Yeah,
they're playing.
I think that this is a
Borussia.
Pretty good. Yeah. All right, well, let's make our pick.
Yeah, so I guess based on that, we're.
Do you want me to pick first, or you want to pick first?
I'll let you pick first. Yeah, I don't want to give away my theory here. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm like you said, it's at
Borussia.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Bayer Leverkusen is good. That both teams are really good. I mean, they've got some good players, but I think Bayer Leverkusen knows that they're in a striking distance. They're a better team. I think Bayer Leverkusen is going to come out and get the win they need.
Yeah. How do you have?
I'm going to say by 1 goal.
Dang. Okay. Now I'm just gonna look like I'm piggybacking you because I'm picking Leverkusen by 1 as well. They're coming. They have. I guess Borussia Mönchengladbach has a little bit more of we have to make a stand at home and we're ahead and we have to prove that this is our spot.
Yeah.
But I feel like coming off of this long arrest and just not having a lot of competitive juices flowing, for Leverkusen, there's a little bit more riding on this. So they have
check this out,
a little bit of energy.
Now, last week, both teams were away when they first started up, right? Both teams were away. Mönchengladbach beat Eintracht 3-1. Bayer Leverkusen beat Werder Bremen, which I think is a better team all around, better competition. They beat them 4-1. So I think both teams are
wrapped up, ready to go.
They're ready to go, but I think that there's going to be a little bit too much emotion at home for Mönchengladbach to overcome a little bit better of a side in Bayer Leverkusen. They're going to kind of fall apart a little bit.
Interesting.
That's my pick. We both have the same pick, so whatever.
Yep.
Whatever happens, happens. But
you
everyone comment down below with your pick. Maybe you'll beat us on this one.
Yeah, maybe if all you have to do is literally pick the other team if we were doing a points differential thing. But I don't know, that might be a risk.
Yep. So that's Dick's pick and Captain's log for today.
Yeah, let's roll
I'm
right on
so glad
in.
we actually have something. We haven't had something in a while.
Yeah, we actually get to put something and post it and then actually talk about it.
Yeah.
I wish I knew a little bit more because it's just been I've been so lackadaisical lately. But I guess that pushes us right on through into Stock Talk.
Stock Talk.
So, do you want to start off the story here?
Let me just go over how the market did, some of the indices. Okay.
Yeah, let's do the indices.
Basically, everything was up a little bit, about. So S&P was up 0.5%. Russell 2000 was up 0.8%. NASDAQ was up 0.1%. And Dow Jones was up 1.3%, had a good week. So the market, when we recorded last week, the market was on a very big dip because Fed Chair Powell made some alarming comments. So the market was headed down Tuesday into Wednesday, and Wednesday it kind of bottomed. Then there was this rumor of this spending relief, $3 trillion, and it actually got moved along pretty quickly. So that's when stocks really revved up Thursday and Friday and closed closed okay on the week. And then today we had another great, I mean, this is probably the best day in a while, if I have to imagine. It said something like 900 points on the Dow, 4% day for the Dow just today. So this really pushed us into positive territory, despite last week having some downside early in the week. And especially the Dow Jones did really well. NASDAQ kind of ran out of steam, isn't doing as well. For a while, NASDAQ was doing a lot better than the other indices. But, yeah, slightly up on the week. And we continue this chugging along, heading in the upward direction for the stock market.
Yeah, for sure. And I have no doubt in my mind that, like, because, their tech stocks aren't necessarily as impacted by supply prices and stuff like that. They're like tech is very information based, so it's not surprising.
They held their ground when everything else was kind of crashing.
Yeah.
But when there's all these rumors of, we're gonna get we're lowering letting go of restrictions. People are actually starting to get back out.
Yeah.
That's actually hurting techs more in a way.
Yeah. I was gonna say that this is like the manufacturing / hands-on stuff is starting to get that little boost now. That
man,
all those to get into it, and it's evident in our first story here.
Yeah. Wait. Which
oil
story
prices.
Are you talking about? Oh, oil. Yeah.
Surged up to $30 a barrel in the U.S. So they're finally getting back to normal, I guess. But that's obviously part of the demand increasing. People going out more. People are going back to work and stuff like that. I mean, it's obviously was expected, but I mean that's a supply side thing for energy too. And so to have too low oil prices is a bad thing. To have too high oil prices is a bad thing as well. So what you want to do is to see it in a better range, like closer to where it is now, probably even a little higher, honestly, because then it impacts how much money making ability there is in like downstream industries, like manufacturing and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think a little bit of it was due to a supply cut. Like maybe some of these oil producers just kind of eventually kind of closed up a little bit. But obviously the bounce in demand, or the forecast for bounce in demand, made the prices go up as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to our point of now that people are really considering reopening the economy, so to speak.
Yeah.
And look at the resorts, like look at the tourist stocks, the airlines, the cruise lines, the hotels. Dude, they were exploding today.
Yeah, they did really well. Today was a good day for them.
It's all kind of the same thing. Once life kind of gets back to normal, people traveling, actually, that's going to make this oil go through the roof. And it went over $30 for the first time in a while. And like 2 months today, it was a 2-month high.
Yeah. Well, a lot, like the big thing is, I think that just in the headlines, it's just, they're not as dire as they were before. Like, granted, we still have a lot of people, as far as the coronavirus whole ordeal is concerned. People just aren't getting you're not getting these big headlines that you were having originally. Like rate of change of increase is really high and stuff like that. It's kind of mellowed out. So people are, like, okay, well, I guess it's time to go back to life, And you got to, at a certain point, we've been getting locked up for 3 months.
Yeah. And the rates, the hospitalization rates and stuff are going down. So I mean, it's just part of reopening. But there are a lot of companies that were not able to weather the storm, and
that's a good point.
And
roll right into our next story.
Yeah, there are more stores that are gonna keep closing, and it's gonna make an impact. So, JCPenney made big news last week when they filed bankruptcy. Kind of expected. Everyone kind of knew it was coming because they were starting to miss payments, and that was publicly broadcast. But
early signs of not good things.
Yeah. They had like $300 million in cash flow on hand, or cash reserves on hand, which is not nearly enough. When they had like $15 million interest payment, then a $17 million interest payment, all in the same month. I mean, they had like a $10 billion revenue stream. So to only have $300 million cash on hand, I mean, look at the ratio of that. It just like they were not, and everyone knew they weren't going to succeed. Kind of even before this all started, you looked at them and you went, they're not headed in the right direction. Like, unless the economy continues to crank and they start to tweak some things and get solid, they're losing market share every year to Amazon. And it's just what was happening. And then an emergency like this hit, they were loaded up with debt, man. I kind of reviewed this on my Straight Data business podcast.
Oh
But
yeah. Good shout out.
but yeah, JCPenney, they filed a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and this is what that means is that they're gonna survive. They got tons of cash flow, tons of revenue, but they're gonna have to cut loose strands. Cut those stores away that aren't doing as well. They're gonna have to live with the top chunk of productive, profitable stores, and they're gonna have to lay off and close. I'm reading the headline here: JCPenney to close nearly 200 stores this year.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you file for bankruptcy. You go to the courts, you go to the people you lent money to, and they start making decisions on how you run your business because you haven't been able to.
Yeah, you just got to liquidate all your assets. You take what you can and get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
So
which
that kind of stinks.
Basically, their footprint was too big. I mean, they need to shrink. They need to consolidate, and they can be fine. I mean, they can be profitable. Like, look at your company. Like, you've got some stores that are X profitable and some stores that are, Y profitable, and Y is a lot bigger than that. So there's like a linear, right? So cut out the least profitable and just keep the most profitable. You get rid of all those expenses, and assuming that the expenses are the same for each store, if you get rid of those bottom half, you can survive. But you don't want to, because it comes at a lot of pain. I mean, you have to admit that you're not as big as you were before. You have to lay off tons of people. 200 stores. They had like 80,000 employees, I was reading. So 200 and 800 stores. So they said it was like a third of their stores.
Yeah.
You're talking about 20,000 people, maybe, I don't know, getting laid off one fell swoop.
Yeah,
or by the end of the year at least. And that's going to keep piling onto this employment problem that we're having. Some people will certainly be going back to work, no doubt. But some of these stores that this crisis proved that they were not sound. They weren't sound before the crisis, and this crisis kind of proved it. And now they have to close up shop, and hopefully there will be employment opportunities for all these people that are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Sorry for the rant.
No. It's all good information. It helps people to like understand this is the inner workings of how business is run. And like you said, you can come out of bankruptcy and be profitable again.
Yeah,
it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of cuts. You're going to have to trim a lot of the fat.
Exactly.
But it's going to hurt a lot. It's going to hurt a lot of people, But you can be profitable. I mean, there's still a market for people to go out and go shopping, and people want to go to retail stores and be there. And you can be open for those people, but you also need to serve a new industry, and that's Amazon, and you have to compete with Amazon. So you had all these high cost stores that were in high value land areas, and Amazon's got these warehouses out in the middle of Nebraska, out in the middle of the cornfield of Nebraska, paying 2 cents on the dollar compared to what you're paying for rent.
Yeah,
they can afford to ship out their boxes or their products for basically nothing. So now you can be a little more competitive in that sense, and you can rebuild from the ground up, I guess.
Right.
Not necessarily even the ground up. You have like a logistics / framework.
No,
you have people that shippers and stuff like that. You already have connections in
exactly
in the retail space.
And I'm looking at their stock right now. I mean, they're publicly traded. They're in the face of the whole market being up 4 or 5% today.
Mm-hmm.
They're down 19%. So
yeah.
And I haven't looked at how it was the last few days, but yeah, they're in some big trouble, and I would just hate to be working. I would hate to be a worker at JCPenney right now. Yeah,
you start to like think, okay, I need to get my resume kind of freshened up. If you think you're a lower like a kind of a newer employee / someone that is not like a super high value individual, I guess your worth. Do a good self introspective moment there.
Yeah, 240 stores. Wow.
Dang. But hey, that's just what the market does to chews you up and spits you out. Like you got to be competitive. You got to stay competitive.
Exactly.
And I hope for the best for them in the end. Like at the end of the day, the consumer's going to vote with their dollars.
And with the bankruptcy, their debt's going to shrink a little bit. They're going to kind of like settle their debt down a little bit, but give over control a little bit, and it'll work out. But this is an old company.
Yeah,
old historic.
They've been around.
Company.
Yeah, they've been around for decades.
All right, so I don't think we have any stories left on that. We might want to get to stock pick.
Yeah, we can do our stock picks, which we'll do a quick review of last week's stock picks first, and then we can go into our picks from this week.
I got the numbers.
Last week, I think we only did a pick for our stocks last week. I'm not sure that we did any other kind of realistic pick other than maybe something for fun, but this will be an opportunity for everybody to kind of make their own picks if they're interested in getting into the market a little bit, but don't really want to jump in full force. This is your opportunity to, hey, can I like test my ability to make a pick? Go ahead and comment a pick down in the comment section and see how you do next week. If you gain money, if you would have lost money,
to our
and
numbers.
Then maybe you go in really, really soft with only a couple of bucks here and there. I mean, you can start anywhere. That's where I started, $100 in the market. That's all I had, and now I'm doing a lot more investing. And I'm doing a lot better. There's always a risk of loss, so be careful of that. But yeah, comment your stuff in the bottom. Let's go to our picks from last week. I'll start with mine here since I'm on a roll here with my tongue. I picked Comcast last week. Ticker or the stock symbol is CMCSA, and they're the NBC, the broadcasting and communications company. And from last week when I told you to purchase them, they're at like 35.8 when I made my pick. They're currently trading at $38.09 dollars a share, so they're up. I don't know what the exact percentage is. I don't have it open right now, but it's a fair. But it's $3 on 35, so something on the order of like 6% or something.
Yeah,
like
I've got about 6% here.
6%.
That's a good gain right there.
So that's a good gain. But you said the whole market was up, so it's not necessarily
but not
telling
that much.
of anything.
From last week. From a week ago, the market's only up like 1%. So you killed it. You beat the market with that one.
Yeah, but I'll say this though, like if you had invested, so we dropped this on Tuesday morning. If you had invested Tuesday morning, it was at 35. If you had waited until like Wednesday or midweek, it was trading in the $34 range. So you could have really turned an extra couple percent there. You know.
That's true. That's true for a lot, pretty much the whole market.
Yep,
except for my pick from last week, which was
here we go. Yeah,
which was VTIQ, which was a weird one. It was on some weird. I don't know what it was surging from, a bunch of people buying into it. But if you had bought it right when we dropped our video, Tuesday morning, whatever, it went up from $22 a share, and on Wednesday in the morning, it was up to $34 a share.
Whoa!
So you could have made a pretty penny, but then it quickly fell off of those highs. So that was like a 1 or 2 day spurt that you could have taken advantage of.
Yeah, so when you were saying buy, it was like buy then, and then you got to sell the next day.
Yeah,
and you did.
I was kind of
fair. Go ahead.
I was kind of hoping that it would go a little bit longer than that and wouldn't have as big a crash. I knew the crash was coming. That's inevitable.
Yeah.
It can't go up, 100%.
It's not sustainable.
Day. Yeah. So, but if you look at the whole week, it was kind of level, as maybe down 1% or so.
So on the week, it wasn't necessarily.
On
the week, it wasn't necessarily a great pick, but it was up like almost 50% at one point. It sounded like.
Yeah.
So and to be fair, that's what you said. You said this is like a short-term pick. This thing's skyrocketing right now. This is something you just grab it and get in, and then get out. That's exactly what you said.
Make some cash. Yeah. So that was okay. So that was our picks from last week. What about this week? You want me to go first?
So it looks like we both ended up pretty good. Maybe over the course of a full week, you're not so good. But I'm going to go ahead and go first just because I went first on the other thing. And my pick is going to be... Yeah, Richard's hot take is going to be Forescout Technologies Incorporated. The ticker symbol or the stock symbol for that is FSCT. So they were supposed to have a merger with... Oh, I can't remember the name of the company right now. But
there's buyout rumors.
Yeah, they were scheduled for a merger at a agreed upon price, and it was supposed to happen today. Advent is the name of the company they were merging with, and they were settled at a price of $33 a share, and they said, okay, never mind, like we're not going to go through with this. They're either going to go back to renegotiation, or they're going to maybe not even make the purchase. That's still up in the air right now.
So the rumor was false.
So it wasn't a rumor. They had everything lined up and everything. Like they had signed the papers. They were officially going to be buying at $33 a share. And
so if you sign papers, you can just back out?
Well, I'm sure they had a back out clause. I mean, if you're a big company about to eat a little company for $33 a share, and there's however many millions of shares on the market, like 6 million shares on the market, $33 a share kind of adds up pretty quickly. So you have a little leverage in that sense. But it dropped 23% on the day. So it went from trading about $33 a share. It's currently trading at about $23 a share. It dropped about $10.
Oh yeah. Dropped like what, 24% or something?
Yeah. So
just today.
Yeah, just
so this
today.
might be a good time to buy if everything comes back together, or even if it just pops up. It might be an overreaction when something like that happens. It's done it before. Look at its history.
Yeah, if you look at its history, it's had a lot of V-shaped recoveries off of drops like this.
Yeah, I was saying, how much further could it actually drop from this point?
Yeah,
I mean, it's at the
this is like its all-time low.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be coming up, and it's got a lot of room to grow in front of it.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously has some value as a company. It was about to get acquired by another company, so it's not valueless. You know what I mean? Like, even if this merger doesn't go through, it's not like it's going to be worth nothing. So it's not like a huge risk necessarily. And then if the merger does come back through, they might not be getting 33 a share, but they might be getting like you still might be getting like 30 a share, 29 a share even. I mean, that's from trading at 23 right now, a $6 gain. You know. $6.
Buy 100 shares, boys.
Exactly, 100 shares, and you got $600.
Bang!
I mean, if you're willing to take that risk,
cybersecurity, right? That's a cybersecurity company.
Yeah, they do cybersecurity. They do the tech. They're one of the tech
So
industries
how could that not be valuable? I mean, that's one of the hottest growing value industries that we know of. You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
So,
alrighty, let's move on.
All right. So my big pick
Captain's
for the week.
Law, or no, not Captain's Law. What is
Kurt's
it?
Big pick. Kurt's
big pick. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with NET.
NET.
What's
the name of the company?
Oh shoot, I don't know. It's like Cloudflare or something. Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay, but we have the stock symbol, so that's okay. We can look that up. It takes 2 seconds.
Cloudflare. Cloudflare Incorporated. Okay. It's just like a cloud. Yeah, it's a cloud-based services company. You know, this is like standard tech stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this day and age, like high value, like a high P to E ratio, because there's just a lot of hope that that's going to grow as an industry.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need as much evidence because the analysts say it's going to be great, right? So anyway, it's let me see. It was down. It was another one that had a kind of a big down day despite the rest of the market being up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, about 5%
down. 5%. Yeah. So hey, yeah. I mean, but look at its last 3 months. It's up 58%. So I think that this is just like I don't know. It's just a little.
So you're kind of trying to like capitalize on something.
In the market, you know what I mean?
Something that's down a little bit that could be coming back up.
Just it's a hot stock. Yep. It's like, just look at its last 6 months. Okay, so it does this. I mean, it goes up and down, right? But look how fast it's growing. Just buy it while it's down. It's gonna go in the next week. This thing is gonna be
pretty low. I mean, but like the stock.
I guarantee it.
The stock's only I
can't guarantee anything
here, especially not in the stock market. It's only trading at like $28 a share, so it's a pretty affordable stock for people who are just looking to like maybe just dip their toes in too. So I think that's what I try to do for some of my picks. I try to pick something affordable, like this time around $23 a share. That's not bad. And then other times I'll pick something a little less affordable. But this was a good pick, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And that is my big pick, and we got your hot take. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of Short End of the Pick. We really enjoy having everyone listen, and go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you join the community by following us at Twitter, following on Twitter at I'm sorry, man, I'm screwing this up, aren't I? At SEP Podcast. At SEP Podcast. Is that right, Richard? All right. So go ahead and comment all your picks from today that we brought up throughout this episode. What were those picks? We've got your stock pick for the day,
Bundesliga.
The Brady versus Manning golf match, and how many? Oh yeah, the Bundesliga match, Bayer Leverkusen or Mönchengladbach, and then also name storms. 16, too many? Are we gonna get there? Go ahead and comment down below. And with that, this has been another episode of Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. We'll catch you guys next time. Until then.